Hey Space Watchers, and welcome back here from Manchester. It's day number 1 at the UK Space Conference, and I have now this absolute honor to speak with Dr. Ingo Waldmann, the CTO and co-founder of Spaceflux, as you can see here behind me. And Spaceflux really gets more and more attraction in the entire SDA arena. And why is that? We will talk about it. But Ingo, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
That's great to hear. So, for those of our informed audience that does not know about Spaceflux, can you give us the elevator pitch and why is that crucial?
Yes, of course. So Spaceflux is an optical space situational awareness provider. So we run a global network of 14 telescopes and sensors at the moment, and we're expanding that to 25 this year. And why is that important? Well, it's important because knowing where satellites are right now is critical to a lot of orbital regimes. We see more and more coming up, 5,000 in the last year. At the moment, we're 14,000 active satellites. And the GEO belt, for example, geostationary orbits are very, very crowded. So is the LEO orbit regime. And someone needs to keep track of this stuff and make sure they don't bump into each other, or check whether your satellite's still alive or whether it's tumbling or whether there are any security concerns with what's going on around them.
You said you're building, you have this optical network in place already. It will grow, but that have been heard before, and there are also others that are tracking stuff in space. But what makes your approach so different from other SDA systems, SDA, SSA providers?
Right.
Maybe we can dive into that a bit.
Yes, of course. So we're quite a young company. We're only 3 years old. So
Okay.
we've built everything from ground up, from scratch, with one coherent idea that machine learning needs to be part of the solution from the get-go. So we implement everything from the edge, so where we compute our data actually at the edge, for example, on the Namibia site, and that's extremely fast, with turnarounds of 90 seconds or so, and then bring it into a global catalog in the cloud. And it's all linked together, and that's an important thing, because you can then really start doing analytics on the data that you have and push the signal to noise of your data to the extreme. So that means you can see fainter things, smaller things, you can see them faster, and you have faster turnaround for your customer.
Can you go a bit deeper into that, how that works? So what does 90 seconds mean? I mean, if you do an observation of an object, then you have to know that is the object I want to see, and it's verifying your assumption at that point. So, but help me with understanding this process a bit better.
So customers quite want to see what's happening to their assets right now, right then.
To their assets.
Okay. So for example, a satellite provider in the GEO belt wants to know what's happening right now. Is it tumbling, or who is around them at this moment? And it's for station keeping or maneuvers. And they sometimes cannot wait too long. And especially also governments, for example, really want to have data as quickly as possible. And our turnaround on that is of the order of 90 seconds to 2 minutes. So it's all basically instantaneous. And that makes a huge difference too.
But how do you know that? I mean, help me. I mean, I have a satellite in a GEO belt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a good thing. It does not move, so it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, it moves, but it's
Yeah.
not moving relative to us. So, but when someone comes around, what we have seen in the past, how do you know who that is? I mean, you can't read their license plate. You can't see who they are. So there's another dot that comes along. So help me to understand this process.
Yeah, that is a very good point. So once the data is taken, and it's literally just a dot in the sky, right? And as we correlate that to our database, and then identify it. If it's not identifiable, the system will then automatically start characterizing it. It will take photometry. It's trying to take spectroscopy of the satellite and trying to understand what it could be, where it might have been coming from, and why we can't know what it is right now, why it initially didn't correlate. So there's a whole follow-on chain trying to identify this as good as we can.
That you are just providing optical data only.
Yeah.
So with the various telescope sizes that we spoke about, but where do you get all the other information from? Are you getting them from the market? Are you working with partners there?
So I mean, the initial seed of the catalog is SpaceTrack, like with many others, but we also have our own internal service. So for example, if SpaceTrack would go offline for whatever reason, then we have our own internal catalog that then seeds these correlations.
I see. So, and how is there a possibility to scale your activity? So does it scale with the number of telescopes, for instance? You have now 14, 25, the next 100, 1,000. So will that then scale automatically with the precision, with the accuracy, with the roundabout time?
Yeah, there's a sweet spot, and it's of course the main issue is day and night cycle that limits an optical observation, right? You can't really observe in the optical during the day. So
that's what we see here. Yeah. So
exactly.
I assume it's not in maintenance. Chile is just.
So Chile, the dome is just closed because the sun came up, but we still see the Australians ones happily observing.
Okay.
And yeah, so we've built an infrared telescope in Spain, together with DSTL, which is in the UK. To break that degeneracy, but also obviously having more generally helps. And 25 is about the sweet spot for GEO MEO regimes. And then we're supplementing that with a lens array. So these are wide-angle lenses that see a large field of view of the sky, and that is specifically pointing at LEO regimes. And we're rolling out 8 this year. To supplement our existing scopes, which are quite large compared.
And they're all remote operated. Yeah?
Everything's remote operated. Everything's fully automated and agentic.
And I mean, for your clients, what are the most urgent risks they need your help for? Is it the debris? Is it irresponsible behavior? Is it lack of transparency? Is it identification of objects? So
it's a bit of everything. It depends on the clients. So we have quite a mixed portfolio of clients and mixed needs. But yes, identification is very important. Close approaches in all orbital regimes are obviously very important for our clients. Seeing how generally the space environment evolves, for example in the geobelt, are certain actors coming close to your assets, when will that happen and how? But also if you're a satellite operator, is it healthy, right? Or has your satellite deployed? So we've worked with constellations, so it's like checking whether, they've deployed their solar arrays properly, or if you have a CubeSat from a university, it's like, and it doesn't transmit, where is it? Can you identify where it is so you can specifically target the CubeSat?
In the LEO regime.
In the LEO regime, right? So it's across all regimes. So it's identification, it's finding stuff, but it's also checking whether it's still healthy or not.
Interesting. Okay, so you achieved in its 3 years of existence already a lot, I would say. So, including now recently some funding that you got. What's next? What is the next big thing for you?
Well, I mean, we're only getting started now. So we've just closed our funding round, and with that we'll finish expanding our network to 25 of these, plus 8 of these wide-angle arrays. And then the fun just really starts. I mean, we're a big data problem now, and then it's machine learning. And that's the interesting thing, is because you can really start looking at patterns evolving in the space environment. And you can even look at the effect of solar flares on your satellite population. Right? It's the big catalog that's the interesting thing, and it's the correlations and the patterns of life of these objects. You
just mentioned machine learning, AI. what is the role of that in this entire setup? I mean, that's where you come from. So how can that be applied to the specific SSA, SDA area in your case?
Multiple ways. So there's the data side is important because it is in effect it is a large data problem, and we're taking thousands of images per site per night.
Yeah.
So you should use them rather than just observing the satellite and discarding the images. You can actually use them to use, for example, generative AI methods to optimally calibrate and continuously calibrate the system. So basically the system learns online about itself and how to best calibrate it, or whether there are any issues coming up. Then to come back to the catalog of having these positions of all of these thousands of targets, and you predict them forward, and then obviously you try to predict collisions, but you can also start predicting behavior. It's like, well, station keeping hasn't happened for this operator on a Tuesday as it usually does. Does that mean they're probably going to go to a different slot in the GEO belt sometime later this week? So this is sort of stuff that you can start predicting forward.
And then you get this alarm then from the system, or do you have to
right,
track
exactly. So that's the thing. So it's the machine learning acts on the catalog to identify what is happening in space, and then based on that, it then automatically tasks the network to follow up or provide extra data or extra characterization of the object to actually understand what's going on. And this is all automated, fully agentic systems that act before the operator actually knows that they should act. Because sometimes, if an Intelsat explodes, by the time the operator sees the data, it's too late. You want to really capture the explosion as it happens with as many scopes as possible. And for that, you need to have a system that understands what is happening and tasks all the sensors.
And I assume that your clients are not only here in the UK, they're at least around Europe or the world, is that correct?
Yes.
So what is the thing that you expect from the UK Space Agency here to do for you? I mean, seeing now the upcoming ministerial of ESA, or is it something where you say, not so much interesting for us?
I mean, it is very interesting. I mean, the UK space environment is a very proactive one. Absolutely. And it's very well integrated. So, of course, our bread and butter is providing data to the UK, and the UK Ministry of Defence at the moment, and we'll hope to continue that as we go forward. But integrating our systems and these agentic and AI systems into their systems is, I think, something that is really interesting, because at that point you can see a much broader operational environment with other sensors from other companies coming in as well, and that makes it really interesting. And
great.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting insight you gave us on this very particular part here of SSA. Ingo, thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank
you. All the best for you and the company. And with that, Space Watch out.